Parents of young children often ask how they can help their children develop good handwriting. The first thing to remember is that until about the age of 5, the fine muscles in their hands have not developed enough to actually grip and do neat handwriting. What happens? They become frustrated, they're bored, and they ultimately resist any kind of handwriting instruction. So what can you do? Always starting with our 3 and 4-year-olds, here's some ideas at home. Play-Doh, plasticine, even chapati dough makes a wonderful medium for children to make little snakes or any kind of a design, developing their muscles. My favorite is finger paint, again available in a toy store. You blob some down on a slightly wet paper and then just let those little fingers run wild. Yeah, it's messy, but then so are young children, and it feels so good. When you're at that toy store or stationery store, please buy a children's safety scissor. This is not. It needs a plastic end. Now, they somehow derive hours of fun from just random cutting. Another point is that these muscles are exactly the ones they use for writing. How about just cutting some yarn? Maybe make a little bracelet or a necklace out of it. Or pattern paper, where they actually begin to follow a squiggly line and develop even more motor control. This would be maybe for 4+. What about random tearing of paper? You know, any paper you have in the house, even gift wrap paper, children just tear it and perhaps make a mosaic or a design which they then glue down on the paper. You can use pictures cut from a magazine or even old newspaper. The joy is in the tearing. Toothpicks. Even picking up something as fine as a toothpick is motor development. Then arrange them on a paper, maybe a robot, a spaceship, just something random. Again, glue it down and make a design if you wish. Of course, any kind of painting or coloring using markers is perfect. Start with a fat brush for young hands and gradually move into slightly thinner and thinner as children gain more control. Another favorite in our house is the old toothbrush. Dip it in some wet paint and then make splatter designs. Whoa. How about blocks? These are pattern blocks, but any blocks will do for arranging and building and making things. Possibly Legos or just blocks in your block set. A game like this can be just random fun. The fingers have to push out the circle and then again try to put it back in. Exercise. Using stencils is great for developing some motor skill. Younger children would use simple ones. Just draw it around with a pencil and then perhaps color it later. Older children can do more intricate patterns. And then how about sequins or other cutouts that you can buy in the market? Just sprinkle them, move them, play with them, and then perhaps glue them down to keep the design. Finger puppets, some are commercially available, but nothing like making your own at home. That's fun, and then the children can make little stories with their finger puppets for themselves, for you, for each other. And they don't have to be fancy. They can be an old sock or an old glove from a homemade set. You know those buttons you have upstairs in a button box? And the innards of a chocolate box? Perfect. Little fingers learn to pick up delicate items like a small button and place them. It's also a math activity because we learn to sort by some categories. Big, small, shiny, dull. So I've got some math going on at the same time. The old-fashioned stringing beads never goes out of style. Again, make a mala for granny, make a bracelet for somebody. Just the very act of stringing helps with the fine motor development. And don't forget the famous pipe cleaner. Again, just manipulating it into a shape or maybe putting it together to make a helicopter. Hours of fun for very little investment. Now, some children will want to start modeling some writing because they see you and the older kids doing it. If that is the case, just write the child's name. Of course, the first letter has to be capital. Original learning is important, but most of it is in lowercase. Children learn to read in lowercase. So capital to begin with, you're modeling the right thing, and then only lowercase letters and only words that matter to the children, like their name. So here are your activities, readily available at home and in the simple marketplaces. Have some fun doing pre-writing activities.